Yo, what is up, guys, and welcome back to the Comicreview47 podcast. And today we're going to look at Wonder Woman, the good and the bad. Now, we're going to look at mostly the good aspects since I consider this movie to be really great. And, there's also some bad aspects to it. So, first of all, I want to talk about the timeline. So, in the comics, Wonder Woman starts off like in World War II, and in here, it's based on World War One. So, I like how they kind of did that to give the idea of feminism because back in those days, women had, no right to vote. They had a lot less rights and things like that. So I really like that because it kind of invokes that feeling of feminism. And second of all, the actors. Well, I just want to say that the actors were actually pretty good. You got Gal Gadot, you got Chris Pine. Actually, I like the supporting cast too. There was Charlie, who was the sniper guy. And there was the French guy. I can't exactly remember their names, but yeah, like there was a lot of different actors and supporting cast. Actually, Etta Candy. A lot of people didn't really like that she made an appearance. Some people thought she was annoying. I didn't really think she was annoying. I thought it was nice that they put her as a cameo and not like a whole like role in the movie. So I thought that was pretty nice. Yeah, and also the music. Okay, so the music was actually really good. A lot of people have been complaining about the guitar, the electric guitar, and along with the slow motion scenes. Honestly, I love the electric guitar song. I know it doesn't really fit from that timeline since it's World War One. They could have probably put something else, but honestly, I don't mind. I really like the electric guitar. It makes me feel like kind of like the movie is kind of actiony and all that. You don't really see the that kind of song anymore. Electric guitar is kind of like the Spider-Man theme song back in the 1990s. I actually really like that too. So how do I say? I get a sense of like action whenever this music goes through, and then also, well, actually, now I want to talk about the movie itself. So Diana is actually pretty naive, and everybody's trying to explain mankind to her. So, in the beginning and throughout the end, not all the way in the end, but pretty much the entire movie, Diana just doesn't really understand mankind. So the way it works is that ever since she was little, she's been urging to know about war, and she's always been curious, and she hasn't really gotten enough answers because if the mom told her a lot of answers, then Ares would be able to find her, uh, because apparently the more she knows, the more Ares, which is the war god, is going to be able to find her, something like that. So yeah, I guess that makes sense that they didn't really explain to her much, and that's kind of sad because she didn't really get to know her, the reasons of mankind's sins and stuff like that. So, first of all, they mentioned that well, in the beginning, as a daughter, Diana is, pretty naive, but she's a kid. What are they supposed to do? But later on, when she goes to Steve Trevor, away from the island, she explains to Steve Trevor that like once they kill Ludendorff, then the world will be, happy again. And obviously, Ludendorff is an Ares, as we see towards the end of the movie. But anyways, if Diana kills Ares, she thinks that mankind will be good again, and people aren't good because they choose to be, but like they are bad because Ares, the god of war, makes them bad or some. It was a little bit. I feel like Diana didn't quite understand this, and I thought that was really great because I had a good dynamic like throughout the movie. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool that she doesn't really know too much, and she finds out later throughout the movie. Ares starts explaining to her, about her powers a little bit, and she could have actually killed her. I mean, Ares could have actually killed Diana earlier, but he chose not to because he said, well, better Diana be an ally than, not have an ally and make her my enemy. So that's why he didn't try to kill her before, even though he might have been able to. So I wasn't really sure how that worked. Yeah, actually, Steve Trevor is really trying to explain to her that, maybe people are just like that because they choose to be. And I thought that was a really nice dynamic between the two. They also had, like, Steve Trevor was really, like, trying hard to explain that part, and Diana wasn't quite understanding, so I thought that was pretty nice. Uh, Another thing that I want to mention, or another good thing, right now we're going with the good aspects of the movie. The God Killer twist. So, as you guys know, this is a spoiler review, sorry. Um, sorry. Ares, who was disguised as Sir Patrick, actually, like, Diana was trying to kill him, and then at the moment that she swung her sword right at him, he just destroyed it with his entire hand. So, what this tells you is that the sword was just a regular sword, and I'm not sure if the Amazons knew this, or if they were just trying to trick Diana, or something like that. So, anyways, they tried to maybe give her a glimpse of hope or something like that. So, Ares, well, there was two twists. Number one was that Ares was Sir Patrick, and the second one was that the God Killer was not the sword, but Diana. So, as a matter of fact, it was her that was able to kill a god. So, Ares explains that, only another god can kill a god. So, that's actually pretty cool. Because I actually like that twist. This whole time I was thinking, oh, Wonder Woman is going to be able to use that sword, maybe kind of cut Ares or maybe kill him or something. But no, she is, in fact, the God Killer. So, yeah, I like how they use Greek mythology a lot in this book. I mean, sorry, not in the book. In the comics, and they kind of use it in the movie too. In the movie, they don't use a lot of Greek mythology. They kind of focus more on the World War One type aspect, and with Steve Trevor and the supporting cast. But yeah, they do mention Diana's mom. They mention Zeus, they mention Ares, Hippolyta, and I mean not Hippolyta, Hippolyta, and things like that. So another aspect that I'd like to mention is that Themyscira looks great. So Wonder Woman had a pretty high budget. It was a pretty I can't remember how much the budget was exactly, but this movie made a lot of money. It made 800,000. I mean, sorry, $800 million worldwide, which is actually really good because considering that Batman v Superman did bad, which was only around 900 million or 800. They were expecting to at least gain a billion worldwide. Now, people watch Batman v Superman mostly because of the hype, and they want Evan. Batman v Superman have never been seen together on screen, so that was really nice to see. But in my opinion, the movie was a disappointment. And now with Wonder Woman, which pretty much gained the same amount worldwide, is a standalone superhero movie about feminism and a new superhero. In the World War One era. So I thought that was really nice that Wonder Woman, as a standalone movie, made a lot of money and almost as much as Batman v Superman. So that was pretty nice to see. Second of all, or I mean not second of all, another aspect that I'd like to mention is the humor. So I actually like the humor that they put here. I actually laughed when I was watching the movie. Like, first of all, when Steve Trevor was in the pool, he was he didn't have his clothes on, and then Diana was asking, "What's that?" And then he said, "That's my watch." Like, I don't know if you guys remember that part. And also, there was another part where Diana was going to the fort, and then they were like wondering, like, what the heck, like, what is she doing? And things like that, because women are not supposed to be leaders. At least that's what the ideals were during World War One. And and it kind of shows that women have power and things like that, which is actually really cool. And also the director Patty Jenkins is a woman as well, so that kind of fits in too. That's really nice. So the humor was really great. Wonder Woman really pops out of the comic. Gal Gadot physically looks like Wonder Woman, and I feel like they did a pretty good job on the suit itself. Of course they didn't put too much armor, and they kind of kept it true to the comic, and she did use her shield, and the part that she couldn't cover, which is her boots, were already, they already had armor, so that was pretty nice to see. Anyways, yeah, like Wonder Woman seems to pop out of the comic. She's very strong. At first, we see she's not as strong because as we see when they were at the front, Wonder Woman is having a little bit of trouble repelling like hundreds of bullets and missiles and things like that. Actually, she doesn't have too much trouble. First, she has to adapt to her powers, and then towards the end of the movie, Ares shows her that she's a god, and like she unlocks her true godly potential. So I kind of want to see that little in Justice League. Uh, well, actually, Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor's relationship, it's like really good. So what makes this movie really special is the relationship between Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor. So Wonder Woman, Steve Trevor in the comics are having a bit of a complicated relationship. So pre-New 52, they were kind of together, and then maybe a little bit with Superman, and then New 52, Wonder Woman was with Superman, and then they kind of switched that again in DC Rebirth, which is Wonder Woman once again with Steve Trevor. It's a little confusing. So, but anyways, in the movie, it was really good. Like, Steve Trevor was actually a pretty decent guy, and didn't really care that Wonder Woman, I don't know, like disrespected the rules. Like he didn't really care about anti-feminism, I would call it. So yeah, that was pretty nice to see. And towards the end, when Steve Trevor dies, I actually felt it, in the movie. So I don't know, I kind of felt that dynamic between the two. And then as soon as Steve Trevor dies, Wonder Woman unlocks her potential. So I'm guessing her powers work. Right now, she can't control it, but when she couldn't control it, all she had to feel was an extreme emotion. I'm guessing to finally unlock her godlike power. So that was pretty nice to see. So Ares. Well, actually, hold on. The last thing I want to mention that was actually good about the movie was that Ares. I can't talk today. Ares is powerful, and he's actually explained pretty well. So Ares looks really good. His armor looks really good. Like it looks just like the comic. I've actually haven't known too much about Ares, except from what I know about him from Greek mythology and all that. So they do explain how powerful and how much influence Ares has. So Ares doesn't really control mankind because ever since the Amazons, had peace in their land, they always kind of blamed Ares for influencing mankind. But mankind didn't really. I mean, they made decisions on their own, and they were kind of evil on their own. So Ares didn't really make mankind evil. He just, he kind of gave influences and helped them out to, be a little more evil. So, like for example, with Doctor Poison, she couldn't find her formula to create the gas poison. So Ares, during the movie, we could see like a little bit of papers blowing, and then one paper blows to Doctor Poison, and then that's the exact thing she needed for the formula. And another thing was that with Ludendorff and other people, he just kind of influences them to do bad things. But 90% of them, you could say, is mankind themselves. So I thought that was really nice. And also Ares is really powerful. Like you could see he can manipulate things around him. Now I'm guessing, I'm not really sure if anyone saw the fight between Wonder Woman and Ares, like the humans, because there wasn't really much reaction when, for example, Wonder Woman killed Ludendorff pretty much. Nothing happened. None of the guards noticed. I was like, what the heck? That's what I was wondering. Like maybe humans can't see how gods fight, or maybe they can't even see Ares as a god. They just see him as a human. So I'm not sure how that works, but they don't really explain it too well. And that's actually, all of the good aspects. There's other good aspects like the slow motion scenes, the action scenes, but I'm not going to go into that too much because it's not as important as the other things that I mentioned. So now we're going to go with the bad. Now I only have three critiques, I guess you could say, about the things that are bad about the movie. So first of all, there was no end credit scene. So I was actually really disappointed. I mean, towards the end of the movie, we see Diana fly, and she's back to the present. I really feel like they could have used that as an end credit scene, or maybe added a little more to it, where she looks at her photo. Maybe they could have just cut that from the beginning and put it as an end credit scene, something like that. Because me, along with other people, were waiting in the movie theater, kind of expecting an end credit scene. But we were pretty disappointed. Now that I bought the DVD, I completely forgot that there was no end credit scene. I was actually looking back and forth for it, and I just couldn't find it. So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that. In another video, I mentioned that there is no end credit scene, so that kind of sucks. It was like a disappointment, The last Marvel movie that came out. I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh no, sorry, that was Spider-Man: Homecoming. So Spider-Man: Homecoming, there was an end credit scene, but it was just Captain America with a white background, just saying patience. And I was like, what is this? Like, what the heck? I've been waiting just for that, and it kind of felt like that with Wonder Woman. So I feel like they should have at least added something. Maybe it wasn't necessary since this movie is kind of set in the past, 100 years. So I don't know. I thought maybe they were gonna put her with the Justice League or just a brief clip or something. But anyways, yeah, I kind of found that a little bit of a disappointment. Second of all, Ares looks ridiculous AF. So Sir Patrick is Ares, and he looks like one of those teachers from the Harry Potter movies. I really don't remember what his name was, but Ares, or the actor for Ares, just doesn't fit the role here. Like, honestly, um, his beard looks ridiculous. I don't know what's up with the British accent. I don't know. I always thought Ares during the movie was actually just his face was gonna turn completely like pitch black or something. Like, I thought that'd be really cool if they did that, but instead they went with Sir Patrick as his true form, and I was like, what? Like, that makes no sense at all. But whatever. When he took off his mask, it looked ridiculous. He looked like the guy that says "smashing" from Rugrats. I don't know what his name is, but yeah, Ares looked really ridiculous. It kind of threw me off there, but I was like, okay, whatever. Once he put on his mask, it wasn't that bad, but it was still seemed a bit weird. And the last critique I want to say that's bad about the movie is like Charlie, like the dude, like the crazy looking dude, that went with Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor, and those guys. Yeah, I don't really know what he did. Like, I literally haven't seen him shoot once. Maybe he did, and I just kind of forgot. Like, I really doubt that he shot once. And then, there was a scene, and when there was a dude with a sniper on top of a building. Now, Charlie could have easily shot him, as we see, but for some reason he was scared or something. Like, Charlie was a bit weird. I do like that aspect to him, because he was supposed to be shown as a crazy dude, or like, I don't know, there was something wrong with him. Maybe he needed like psychiatry or something, but he could see ghosts. For some reason he was afraid to shoot, but I mean, they should have at least shown him shooting like once. Like, he literally didn't do anything. I mean, as far as I could tell. And yeah, those are actually all my critiques, the good and bad, of Wonder Woman. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this podcast. Now, I did another video on why the Wonder Woman I can't even talk. Why the Wonder Woman movie was great. So I have a video on that if you guys want to watch it. I'll leave it at the end of this video. So, like, yeah, in that video, I just kind of explained only the good. Here, I kind of wanted to put good and bad, and I kind of wanted to divide the aspects and go a little more detail. That's why I do podcasts, so I can go more in depth with, movies and predictions for future movies and things like that. So, let me know if you guys like my podcast or if you guys want me to post something else. Leave suggestions. I don't really mind if you guys leave suggestions. On what videos I should do, what series, and things like that. So anyways, guys, that's it for this podcast. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.